Today we'll explore a strange and growing phenomenon. Across the world, the ultra-wealthy are building underground shelters, bunkers, to prepare for what they believe could be coming. Artificial intelligence, climate change, war. The phrase billionaire bunker describes a new kind of fortress, built by the ultra-rich to survive catastrophe, war, pandemics, climate collapse. But these aren't just survival caves. They are luxury palaces underground with medical suites, security systems, and long-term food supplies. And beyond survival, spas, gyms, cinemas, bowling alleys, and pools. Even when society collapses, the rich plan to live in comfort. Many are in remote places like New Zealand, far from cities, far from chaos. Safety, privacy, control. The motivation? Fear. Fear of global instability, of AI, of economic collapse, of nuclear war. A perfect storm of anxiety. One Texas company, rising as bunkers, builds these fortresses. Their most famous model, the Aristocrat, costs over $9 million. And it includes a bowling alley, swimming pool, gym, sauna, and a self-sustaining greenhouse for food. A private ecosystem sealed beneath the earth. In Europe, another firm, Opidium, calls its project the world's largest billionaire bunker, over 300,000 square feet underground, complete with art, galleries, and wellness zones. And then there are the tech billionaires. Mark Zuckerberg says his Hawaiian compound has a small underground shelter. Reid Hoffman calls it apocalypse insurance. He claims half of Silicon Valley's elite already have one. Sam Altman of OpenAI has talked about joining Peter Thiel in New Zealand if the world collapses. And Ilya Stutzberger from OpenAI once said, "We're definitely going to build a bunker before we release AGI." Think about that. The same people developing artificial intelligence are quietly preparing escape routes from their own creation. What does that tell us about their confidence or their fear? Where does this leave the rest of us? The billions who can't afford a $10 million hole in the ground. Are we just supposed to watch while the elite seal the blast doors? The numbers say it all. The poorest half of adults own about 2% of the world wealth, while the top 10% own more than 75%. And the richest 1% hold almost half of everything. A few build bunkers. The rest of us can only hope. These bunkers aren't only about fear. They're about separation. A wall between us and them. A symptom of a society where trust has collapsed. Where wealth replaces community. Where safety means isolation instead of cooperation. But if the world truly fell apart, even billionaires couldn't stay underground forever. The air, it must come from somewhere. Filters fail, supplies run out. Eventually they'd have to return to the surface, right? And what kind of world would they find? If the global grid collapsed, over 400 nuclear reactors would lose cooling systems. And without power, they melt down. Radiation spreads. No amount of money can filter that out. These bunkers are not lifeboats. They are illusions, a reflection of humanity's refusal to face itself. The divide isn't only between rich and poor people. It's between nations. The global north consumes almost 80% of the world's resources, while the global south bears the brunt of climate disasters it didn't cause, like droughts, floods, forced migration, whole communities displaced by emissions that built these fortunes. When billionaires plan their escape, it's not just inequality, it's moral inequality, a belief that some lives matter more than others. But the planet doesn't recognize net worth. Radiation doesn't care about currency. Pandemics and collapse do not discriminate. We rise or fall together. When the powerful retreat underground, they send a message. We've given up on fixing the world. We'll just hide from it. But hiding isn't survival, and isolation isn't peace. Instead of bunkers, we should be building bridges between nations, between people, between generations. If we invested even a fraction of this bunker money into clean energy, education, and peace, we can transform the future. Alfred Nobel said that the Peace Prize should go to those who reduce standing armies. Yet here we are, building fortresses instead. Our economies still depend on war, bullets, bombs, submarines, a war economy that drains our hope. We can't hide underground and expect paradise when we emerge. The only real safety is cooperation. The only real security is peace. And as we reflect on this strange new age, where billionaires build bunkers instead of bridges, ask yourself, who is really being protected? And what kind of world do we want to protect? If you found this episode valuable or interesting, please like, subscribe, and share, because the conversation matters. Until the next time, stay mindful, stay connected, and stay human. Goodbye.